Hi, I'm Lam. Welcome back to Keeping Up with the Queen, and today I am so genuinely excited because listen, I'm just gonna cut right into the chase. Today we are going to review swatches and do a demo on my eyes for this Natasha Denona bronze eyeshadow palette. I do want to see reviews, a little bit of reviews and swatches to make sure that is something that I need and I want. And then I also want to think carefully about it. That's why it took me a little bit of time. But now it's finally here. And let me tell you, this bronze collection comes with an eyeshadow palette, the bronze eyeshadow palette, 3 limited edition lip glosses, and I heard that formula is really good, so I do want to try it someday, but I did not get the lip glosses. And also there is a face palette, but I didn't get that palette either because I just feel like I don't need something like that. I much prefer the tan palette, so I got the tan palette and I'm gonna do a review for you guys. But yeah, I thought the collection is really good. When I saw the photo of the shades, literally I jumped and I was like shook because the colors are so me. I was so excited for this palette, and I haven't been that excited about any eyeshadow palette in a few months. First, let's hop on to Sephora and see what they say about this palette. It is a go-to eyeshadow palette that is a summer essential, free of parabens, cruelty free. What else you need to know? This palette has a range of formulas and textures from sultry, cream powder matte to vibrant duochromes, metallics, and shimmers. This palette can create a variety of looks. It's the perfect complement to your summer glow, flattering every skin tone and texture. This palette is the medium size palette from Natasha Denona. Another neutral palette from Natasha Denona is the Biba palette, which is well loved by everyone, and I wanted to try something like that from her, but it's just so expensive. I can't justify buying that. And also the size, you know, is so bulky. I don't want a big palette. I want like a smaller, a more curated size. That's why when she announced this palette launch, I was so excited because this is long overdue for me from Natasha Denona. This is something I want to try out. I'm going to do another video with 4 different looks using this palette. So stay tuned for that. If they're out, I'm going to link them below. If not, you're gonna have to subscribe because they're coming very, very soon. Who is this palette for? You want a variety of looks in a palette that is neutral? Yes, this palette is for you. If you are new to Natasha Denona, if you don't have so many of her other palettes, this is a palette for you. The only palette I have from her is the mini Glam, so I haven't tried the cream to powder formula from her, so I'm excited. I was very excited to get this palette so that I can try out that formula from her to see if I like it or not personally, because I see a lot of mixed reviews about that specific formulas. Either people love it or people hate it. Finally, this palette is for someone who loves higher end makeup but you don't want to spend that much money, because this is a more reasonable price for 15 shades. $65 is good. So those are the kind of people that would love this palette. Also, you must like warmer eyeshadow looks because this palette leans more warm than neutral or cool tone, and you'll see in the swatches. Bronze eyeshadow palette comes in a box like this. In front it's pretty straightforward with the name, and in the back you have ingredients for each shade. The net weight is 19.75 grams, which is 0.67 ounce. My batch code is T027. Expiration date is 24 months, so it's recommended to be used within 24 months. This is the palette right here. It's a very shiny front. You can see there are my fingerprint everywhere already. Beautiful bronze packaging, very true to the color scheme of the shades inside. On the back is a matte, more velvet kind of a plastic, and you can see there are holes here so you can punch out your eyeshadows to mix with other of her same midi size eyeshadow palette, or you can mix it around within this palette as you like. When you open it, there's a huge mirror, like the full-size mirror, and it's a good mirror, very nice quality. And I have to note something, that this the lid stay wherever you need it to, or you can open it all the way. So usually what I like is I hold it like this when I use eyeshadow palettes, and it's very secure. Material is very nice. She specifically designed her palette so that you have an easy time using them, so you don't have to be a makeup artist to use her eyeshadow palette, because the color arrangement is very smart. You can just stay using a row, so one row can create a very nice look and the colors go together. So you can do rows, you can stay columns, and they will create a nice look for you in each column. You can go like that diagonally and it will create a look, or you can do quads. So like this four will create a look, this four will create a look, like that. So it's very easy to use. And you can see on her Instagram, she did say that this palette, she arranged it so that this side is a cool, more cool tone shades of bronze, and the middle part is a more bronzy, peachy, orangey, and then on this side it's warmer, so like the red and the coppers. So I do see a variety of shades, which is nice, and we're going to get into that when we create our more looks with it. But I thought today for the demo, I'm just gonna use the shades that stand out to me the most, and those are the shades that I would use in the daily basis. When I do 4 different looks, I'm going to stick to her tips to see if it works or not. Let's see what I want to say next. Okay, so this palette, the thing that I'm excited about is this shade right here. It's a cream to powder kind of a shade, so it's very special. That's the only one in the palette like that. And we have some duochrome, we have some metallic, we have some very nice matte, and I like that there's like different kind of transition shades. So now I thought we should get into swatching. So these is from the first row, second row, and the bottom row. These are all the shades. When I swatch the colors, I noticed that this shade, which is true bronze, and this shade, which is silk, are the most junky and the most reflective. The rest of the shimmer shades are not that punchy. So you have these two, Suntan, Sundown, which can be used for transition shades. I noticed that Rich is a nice transition shade. More mustard is a little more neutral rather than this. This one is like really peachy. This one is like a little bit toned down, neutral, kind of similar to Rich, but this one is a little bit more red, and this one is a more mustardy. I love the creamy cream to powder formula. I thought that was very impressive. You can see it fits a variety of skin tone, it fits a variety of undertone. It's gonna flatter everyone. The matte, the transition shades that I mentioned previously, they translate a little darker on the skin compared to when they are in the pan, which is a little bit weird. But if you think that these shades seems a little bit too bright for you, if you are a medium skin tone, then I'm telling you, you don't have to worry, because they are going to apply darker on your eyelids. Now it is time to dip into the bronze palette from NATASHA DENONA. We will play with it right now. And since this is the first time I'm gonna play with it, I am just going to use some of the shades for this demo. I will use some of the shades that I usually would use for a very neutral, natural, everyday look. And then after this video, I'm going to film another video where I will use different shades and create different types of look using this palette. Maybe I am going to use rich, blow out all over the lid. I'm going to use a little bit of suntan. This is gorgeous. I really like this kind of shade to deepen out the crease. Maybe we'll go into deep dive as almost like a liner. And I want to use palladium, which is this like bronzy gold. And for this, I'm going to use a big fluffy kind of a brush. I am so excited. Okay. Wow. As expected, pigmentation is amazing. I'll dip it in the second time. This time I focus more on here. I want to like add a little bit of color to here, just kind of what I like to do, and also I want to blow it out a little bit more. Third time, focus more on the outer. Wow. I know I seem like I am overreacting, but I'm just shocked at how this is so easily blending. It looks a little warmer than I anticipated because in here is such a mustardy kind of a shade, but I understand that when it translates into the eye, it can be different. I'm so excited to dip into suntan with this a smaller blending brush from Anastasia. I have never dipped into this shade before. On the outer corner, you see I keep it a lot closer to my eye. Last time, you see how much product I get? I get the tiniest amount of product. This time I'm gonna flick it out a little bit to create that dimension. Okay, that's beautiful. Now I'm going to flip the side of the brush to this flat, a little bit fluffy, and I'm going to dip into suntan one more time with this for my lower lash line. I'm so excited. Ow. And I'm just running it across my lower lash line. I dipped my brush in again just now. I try to stay very close to my lash line because if I go out too much, it will look, I don't know, I just look really tired if I drag things out too much in my lower lash line. And then I use the same flat brush, dip into suntan, going to enforce it on the upper lash line. We are going to try Palladium, the shade right here on the last row, and I'm going to use this brush too to do it. That's how I usually do my shimmer shades. So because I don't want such an intense look for every day. So I do that. Tap, tap, tap. Third time. This time I'm gonna tap. Now you can see it. And now use the flat side, dip into palladium, and I'm gonna do it right underneath, like this. Tap it so that there's no fallout. This is my favorite kind of shimmer to use on the lower lash line because it's just so sultry. And this time I'm gonna use the flat brush to see if I can pack it on the upper. Yep. Okay, the flat brush is what I'm gonna use for the shimmers for now. Beautiful. There's a little bit of kickback. Do you see that in the pan? Oh. Okay, I've dipped in suntan one more time with the fluffy brush because I think I need to make this stronger. Now I'm going to use a liner brush and I'm dipping in deep dive. This is the cream to powder formula and I will use it as my liner. Wow. I like that shade. It's very unique. It's not like other browns that I have in my other palette. This is a little bit cooler. It has almost like a purple undertone or something. You see that? And it does blend out very easily. It's so creamy. Wow. I'm going to do that on my inner corner too. And then whatever left, I'd like to do a little bit on the lower lash line. Like flick it. So I went ahead and I matched this eye with the other eye. And oh my god. Well, of course I went overboard and I add way too much for a natural daily look, but I realized I haven't had an inner corner shade, so I thought maybe I'll come here and I'll dip into this shade in the middle. It's called Alloy, and we will see how it looks right in the inner corner. Blend it in with the other shade. What do we think? Wow, I love it. It's very, very nice. And using this, it reminds me of another palette. And it is the Soft Glam palette from Anastasia of Beverly Hills. So I think after this video and the 4 looks video, I'm going to film the comparison between the bronze palette and the Soft Glam palette because that palette is so popular and it's a little bit cheaper, and it's, I think, yeah, I don't know why, for some reason this look reminds me of that palette. So I think I'm gonna do a comparison side by side and then swatching both palettes so we can see what's going on. Yeah, but this is the final look. What? Okay. We are getting to the conclusion, final thoughts part of the video, and after swatching it, after applying it on my eye, I am happy to announce that the bronze eyeshadow palette from NATASHA DENONA is a bop. What would the queen say about this? She would love it and she would use it and she would rave about it to all her friends and on her social media. That's what the queen's gonna say. And yeah, the queens loved it. She loves it. All the queens should love this. I'm excited to compare it with the Soft Glam palette because I think we're gonna have some hot tea to spill in that video, so stay tuned. I'm so happy. Wow, I forgot how much I love eyeshadows. And I'm shocked at how much I love makeup, and I'm just so excited. I got the swatches on my clothes. Let me know in the comment section below what you think of this palette, and if you didn't get it yet, if you want to get it or not. If you have the gold palette from NATASHA Denona, if you have Metropolis, if you have Biba, what do you think of this compared to all of those? I almost got a Biba because first of all it's so expensive, even though you get the same amount of shades. There's so many mattes that are not my cup of tea in the Biba palette, because like there's some gray, the last row I didn't enjoy them at all, and there are only a few shimmer shades. I like a more balance of matte and shimmer, and I knew NATASHA Denona was gonna come up with a medium size palette with a more suitable color story for myself. So I was being patient, and I'm so glad I was being patient because I love this palette and I don't regret getting it at all for $65 US. Like this video and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on future video. All the information will be in the description box. I will see you next time. Have a great day, and remember, don't flop.